we can be earning money in different ways. It's not just this, you got to pick a job after college and you do it forever. Was it milk? What is it? Milk and money?
Code. Yep.
Code or coat?
Code.
Okay.
Milk and money code.
Milk and money code. COAT.
Coach, like coach. COACH.
Oh, milk and money coach. Oh, okay. Good morning, Michigan. How are you all doing today? We have a great episode for you. Freelance expert and entrepreneur and influencer Latasha James is going to be on to talk about passive income streams and how you can be earning some passive income. We are also going to see what the Pistons have been up to in the sports realm of things. And on top of that, we are diving into entertainment right now. What I like to call semi-cult classic film that I feel everyone I've ever spoken to agrees was great, Easy A featuring Emma Stone, is going to be available on Netflix on November 1st. Now, unfortunately, so is Paul Blart Mall Cop featuring Kevin James. Now we're going to jump into sports and see what our Detroit Pistons are up to. Oh, okay, wow. It looks like Blake Griffin with the Pistons is having a really great season. Oh, and great arms. Now moving on to the nougaty center of Good Morning Michigan, that is our motivation segment. And today we have a special guest, Latasha James. She is a local freelance guru. She is an influencer, entrepreneur. She does so many amazing things, and she herself is an amazing individual and good friend of mine. Oh my gosh, is that you, Latasha? Bam, bam, bam.
Hola.
How are you doing today? Welcome to Good Morning Michigan. Do you have any morning words for everybody?
Let's get it. That's my morning mantra.
I like it. As you know, you're here to talk about passive income. To me, you are kind of the queen of passive income. You just know it, and you know it well. How would you define passive income for anyone who doesn't know already?
To me, passive income is, income or money that you earn in a non-active way. So It's basically something that you kind of can set it and forget it.
Right.
Now, I'm sure we'll talk about this a little deeper in the episode, but that's not entirely true. Like, it's not just, you make something and then it makes you money forever. There is a little bit of maintenance involved, I think.
Yeah, I think the maintenance thing, which we'll talk more about, is really important here. It's called passive income, but there's a big but there.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how many revenue streams do you have?
I actually just did a podcast on this a couple weeks ago, and I think it was 7, either 6 or 7.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, and if you think about it, like a typical person who works, let's say in corporate, they have that one. And let's say they get let go from that for, whatever crazy reason, their one revenue stream is done. And that's why I've always appreciated the fact that you really strategically put yourself in a situation where, like you said, you just have 7 revenue streams, which I think is great because let's say one goes away for whatever reason, you have something else to fall back on. You actually, in your case, have 6 other things to fall back on. I think that's something really important for everyone to take away from this conversation. What are some examples of passive income streams that maybe you use, or just ones that you know of that other people might use?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can tell you about what mine are, because some of those 7 streams are active income streams that I'm actually doing, like client work, for example. That's obviously an active income stream. But for me, my biggest passive revenue stream is online courses. So I have, I think it's 4 online courses now. I just launched a new one last week.
Ooh, cool.
And so those, yeah. And so that's a big part. It started out very, very small. I was making a couple of sales a month, but It's actually about 40% of the business's revenue now.
Wow.
Which is pretty huge.
Yeah.
And then I also, YouTube it's one of those weird ones that is kind of a hybrid because obviously I make YouTube videos every week. That's an active, action. I actually have to take the time to do that, but actually a lot of my old videos are making me the most money. So it is one of those things where you create something once and then it can make you money for years. I mean, I have videos that are at the top of my revenue list that are like a couple of years old.
I mean, if you guys haven't checked out Latasha on YouTube, podcasting, and courses, you got to check her out, Latasha James. It's latashajames.com, right? And then on YouTube, you're Latasha James as well?
Yep.
Cool. And it really, from her YouTube, you can really find anything about what she does in regard to freelancing and helping people become entrepreneurs themselves, and just everything. There's so many things that she helps out with. But yeah, like you said, it's like, I think what we can say though about YouTube is that maintenance you're doing now for those YouTube videos, even though the older ones are generating a lot of revenue, what you're doing now is helping to keep those relevant, right?
Totally.
Because you are staying relevant in that too, and you're keeping the maintenance up, and you're keep on keeping on with the content creation.
Yeah, totally. And for me, my YouTube is actually, it's my number one lead generator. It's the number one referrer to my courses as well.
Oh, okay.
And so like I said, like, even though the courses are done, they're there. If I stopped putting out YouTube content or podcast content or, quit Instagram or whatever, like, I probably wouldn't be seeing the passive income numbers that I'm seeing. So even though they are there and they are sort of passive, like, it does still take work to, like you said, stay relevant, to be posting content that drives people further down the funnel. Yeah, they all work together for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great takeaway too. And for people who maybe aren't as digital savvy as us, I think they can still apply that, in that you can find things that are related to each other. For instance, I remember you mentioning to me one of your income streams is affiliate marketing. So that means if someone clicks on a link and they buy the product from clicking on the link you provided, then you might get a commission out of that. So I think that people need to get into that mindset of, okay, what can I do maybe smaller scale that can attach to something bigger? You've kind of done this amazing job of having things that are all related. And I think it's because you truly like what you're doing and what you're interested. Would you say that's true? And
yeah, for sure. I mean, don't force that. I mean, I see it all the time. People are like, oh, how do I start a YouTube channel? Or how do I create a course? And I'm all about that. Like, I'm like, yes, do it.
Right.
But I'm only for that if you really enjoy that, if you're really consuming those things yourself, if you really understand the value of those things yourself. Because if you just do it just because it sounds cool, or like you think you can get instantly rich from it, you're going to be disappointed, because it takes a long time, number one. So you have to be like, okay, not making any money for a long time.
Right, and I think that falls in line with a good tip for finding a passive income stream. And sometimes I think the digital world offers a lot, so I think me and you are, more understanding of digital, passive income streams, but I feel like there could be other ones out there.
This is a little bit of a different thing.
No,
but,
it's okay.
Even just investing, like, I've been doing a lot more. I'm by no means an expert, so don't listen to me for advice on that, but I've definitely been being smarter in this past year or so about where my money's going. Instead of just putting it into a savings account, you can put it into a high yield interest savings account, or like into a Roth IRA or something, so that it's making money for you as well. And I think that's kind of a version of passive income that's a little bit less digital. Do you have any people on YouTube or Instagram that you maybe go to for investment information? Yeah, for sure. So there's a girl, her name is, her Instagram name is Milk and Money Coach. Ooh. I love her. Was it what is it, Milk and Money? Coach, yep. Code or coat? Coach. Okay. Milk and Money Coach. Milk and Money Coach, C-O-A-T. Coach, like Coach, C-O-A-C-H. Oh, Milk and Money Coach. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant. Wait, I don't know about this. And I also want to plug, I used to edit her podcast. She has an amazing podcast. It's called I Don't Do Budgets. Okay, I Don't Do Budgets. Her name's Sierra. So both of those are great resources. And they're like millennials too, so I feel like they get it. If you're a little bit younger and maybe feel a little overwhelmed by the idea of like personal finance and investing and stuff. So those are good options. Right. I feel like growing up, I definitely didn't get any direction on that. You'd think they would mention maybe something in like an economics class about
what you could do with money and investing and what have you. But that's a really good point though, in that investing itself could even be a passive income stream. One last thing that I wanted to touch on was timing and patience, because obviously in today's world things happen so quickly that I feel like, even for myself, I mean, it's so hard to be patient, but I feel like passive income streams really do come with time. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of time do you think people could expect before a passive income stream is fully developed? And maybe you could even go off of your own example for your YouTube channel or anything like that.
I launched my first course in November of 2016.
Okay.
And I actually just posted about this the other day. I looked it up to see what the actual number was. But on launch weekend, I made about $300 for that course, which was cool. Like, I mean, I worked a full-time job at the time, so I was like, sweet. Like,
right.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much for the next couple of years after that, I would make like maybe $100 or a couple $100 a month from that course. I didn't surpass $1,000 a month until, I want to say it was 2018, so it took about 2 years to actually be like a good chunk of income, and then now it's been, moving up from there basically. But yeah, I mean, so it took like a good 2 years to make a sizable amount of income, really.
Right. I was just gonna say, would you say that 2 years included like making YouTube videos and social content as well, on top of creating these courses?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always posted on YouTube. I've been on YouTube forever. I've been on YouTube for years. I have never missed a week uploading. I don't think ever. So I've always posted one video a week. Yeah. And I think that's the key, honestly, to YouTube, is we were just talking about that before the call, is consistency is huge. So I was always posting content, but it's not like I was like, hey, buy my course. Like, it wasn't like making content specifically about that course every week. I was just staying active. It was always linked in my description box, my videos, things like that. People always ask about YouTube as well, about, when can I start getting paid? And I always tell people, start YouTube, just like your question before, start it because you like it and you want to do it. And also have a plan for monetization that doesn't rely on YouTube ads. Because even when you get approved for YouTube ads, after you hit that, I think it's 1,000 subscribers, 40 hours of watch time. Even after you hit that, it's going to be like pocket change. And I don't say that to be discouraging. I say that to be
it's honest.
Realistic.
I really appreciate your honesty with it though, because I feel like it's not out there in the world. I think patience is the most important thing. And like you said too, it's like, you gotta choose things that you actually want to do. I've made this mistake firsthand.
Even though I say I didn't make a good amount of money from YouTube ads until really like 2019, 2020, I was making money indirect off of YouTube pretty much right away.
Right.
Because like I said, it's the number one referred to my courses, it's my number one referred to my agency website. So like there are ways to still make money from YouTube. You just need to be innovative and think outside of the box. Like, it might not be a straight line. Do
you have any final words on passive income, or just anything that you maybe thought of that you really wanted to share with people?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, I think before you start with something, if it is a course, I guess that's really my area of expertise. I would say is online courses and digital products. Be a consumer of those things. Like, I've learned so much just from taking online courses and, understanding that space. Because again, I think sometimes people just start one just to start one and don't fully understand, what the process is like. So if you want to buy some courses, check them out and kind of get a feel for it from the student's perspective as well. That really helps.
Right. Do you have a recommendation for a course creating website?
Yeah, I use Thinkific. Yep, I've built all my courses on Thinkific.
Is it Thinkific? It's really hard to tell. Especially when like typing in, I'm like, Thinkific, which one is it? I feel the courses is a really good suggestion because I think a lot of people can do a course. It's not, it doesn't have to be something just about digital media or marketing. Yeah. If you're really good at HR, you can do an HR course for other HR people to help them out. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate all of your insight. I think you have a plethora of knowledge that people should check out on YouTube and your podcasts and courses, and I really appreciate you coming on. Good morning, Michigan!
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Your problem. Thank you for, oh my god, that's gonna be the official sign off now because you're the second person to do it. That is our show today, folks. I hope you got a lot out of it. I know I did. And if you like this video, be sure to like it down below and make sure to subscribe down below as well if you want to be notified whenever I launch a Good Morning Michigan episode. Now, before we go, I just want to let you all know that I know times are hard right now. And honestly, life's pretty hard. So they might be hard a year from now when you're watching this. But know that this too shall pass. It's a saying that is transcendent. My mom tells me it all the time, and it really does help me get through some hard times. On top of that, if you find yourself thinking too much about your own problems or your own situation, then I recommend focusing on helping someone else with their problems and their situation, because it will give your brain a break from thinking about yourself, and I promise you, you will feel better after helping someone else out. And on top of that, you're making a greater impact on the earth that all of us humans share. Oh, and don't forget, do not forget this. Mask up, Michigan.